If you don't want people talking about you, sit in that little corner, okay, and nobody gives a about you. You can bitch, moan, no one's going to care. But if you want to achieve something in life, people will always talk. 50 times I got rejected, but that 51st phone call that I would make to a potential buyer or a seller, and if they say yes to it, that's when my confidence grows.
Hey guys, it's Dan Gravina here from Results Media, and I'm here with Zed from Zed Real Estate. He's one of the few agents in this country who's come to Australia at 13 as a refugee from Afghanistan. Lived with 19 people in a 2-bedroom house, sold hot dogs outside nightclubs, and is now Victoria's #1 agent with over 2 billion in transactions across his firm, selling in Melbourne, Gold Coast, and Dubai. I want to get straight into it, man. I'm really curious to know, at what point in your life did you know that you're going to be very successful?
How are you, Dean? Good?
Good, man.
That was a good introduction.
Thanks, fella.
I like it. First up, thank you for doing this. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yeah.
Second up, the fact that you're doing this and you're trying to inspire the world out there, hats off to you. Well done, because not many people are taking the time out of their own day to be able to spread positive energy.
Yeah.
So congratulations to yourself and to your team.
Thank you.
Where did the energy come from? Did I know I was going to be successful? No. No one's a born salesman, gets out of high school that says, I want this. Everybody wants happiness, everybody wants success, but they just don't have the route for it. They just don't have the roadmap for it. What I did was, consistently and persistently, I put my head down and I got to work. I'm not formally educated, but I'm self-educated. I was always interested in business, and I knew that I had the power to communicate with people.
Yeah.
And I always had let's just say, I fed off other people's energy. I'm like, this is easy. All I got to do is just simply ask the question. When I was selling hot dogs, and I started asking people questions, I go, pay me $20 for a hot dog. 4 a.m. I'm sure people have heard this in my previous podcast. They'll be drunk off their faces. They would ask if my hot dog is halal or not. Yeah. You know? It's okay for you, brother. It's halal. You know, no problem at all.
Yeah.
So I realized the power of asking a question, and if you don't ask in life, you never get. So I'm like, you know what? I'm actually good with people. Why don't I just jump into sales? Jumped into Telstra straight after high school, started selling mobile phones. That's when I realized that I need to be in real estate because I served a real estate agent.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. And I just want to pull it back, like, you know, do you have like a specific memory that sort of gives you this motivation? Like, is there anything that throughout your career, even before you started, you know, selling, that really drives you today?
I think this is for majority of the people that have felt adversity in life.
Yeah.
And they've come with nothing. This has got nothing to do with being Afghan in my background. Afghanistan has been an unfortunate country for over 50 years where we've been invaded and people have come in, they've taken shit and then boom, off to the next and not next. I always knew that being brought up in poverty, I was never going to stay at that level. So when we migrated to Australia, the country has given us an opportunity to become who we want to be.
Yes.
Whereas the third world countries, you're either very, very wealthy, very rich, or you're very poor. There's no such thing as middle class. So then when I came in here as a 13-year-old, as a teenager, I saw that everybody was equal. There's no such thing as a rich person. There's no such thing as a poor person. Everybody out there can have a nice steak.
Yeah.
Your steak can get as expensive as you can, yeah?
Yeah.
So I think it all comes down to your dreams and your ambitions and what you want out of life. Because of that poverty, I came in with a strong mindset. I said, I will never be fucking poor again.
Yeah. But going back to that first question, you knew that, right? In your mind, there's something in you?
No, I didn't know. If I say I knew it, I'm lying.
Right.
But salespeople aren't born, they're made.
Right.
So then you become the person of influence.
Yeah.
No one's going to wake up, you know, or get outside high school and say, I want to be successful.
Yeah.
No, you become your environment because of the experiences that you've had in the past.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I had to become this person of influence and self-educate myself on different types of books that I've read over the time, on personal development, on communication, on literally leadership skills, marketing skills, business management skills, so I could become the person.
Exactly. Yeah. I think there was an opportunity when you were working at Telstra, someone came up to you and said to you, you're really good with people, you should sort of get into sales. And then I believe you were presented with an opportunity at that point, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
You talk a lot about being happy in your videos and your podcast. And that is something that really interests me because I meet a lot of high-end individuals and you look at and you've also reflected on this. A lot of people this is me paraphrasing your words. A lot of the people that you potentially worked with that are high-end individuals, they're not happy. You don't admire them, you know. And at what point, when you started getting into sales, you know, say post Telstra, did you know that this is potentially something that's going to make you happy?
When I was working at Telstra, I was the only salesman in there that was allowed in the room. I was the only gutsy salesman out there because of my hot dog selling skills. At being 14, if I could sell a hot dog outside in the rain being like -5 degrees in Melbourne, and I could ask the question, I was making a living out of it, like $200 a night for a 14-year-old is a lot of money, yeah? So I could easily sell mobile phones. All I had to do was literally just be humorous and use my charm to be able to communicate with people. If a lovely 84-year-old lady walked into Telstra, she was complaining, I just had to give it a service. Speak to her. And old people, they love it when somebody gives them a compliment about their hair, especially if they've just washed it, they've just blow dried it. You give them a compliment, all of a sudden, I'm building a relationship. What's $100 to her a month? So it all comes down to persuading and making people feel great about the decision that they've made, whether it's a product, it's real estate, or any other services.
And that makes you happy.
At this point in my life, touch wood, I've achieved everything that I've always dreamt of. The rest is literally building a family legacy and helping other people get to that level that they want. So to all the youngsters that's watching this, to all the people that's watching this, they're not at that point of success or happiness. I'm doing this so that I can share the value with them. That's what makes me happy, which is why I originally said yes to your podcast.
Exactly. And you sort of led into my next question, actually. You speak a lot about, when you're in like Afghanistan, where, walking outside, you don't know if you're going to end up back in one piece, right? And there's 700,000 USD bounties on people, I find that really interesting. The big question that I want to dive deep into is you've achieved safety, you've achieved success. And can you, initially it seemed like you were working out of maybe desperation a little bit. It's either you go for inspiration or desperation. You've got something that you need to work hard for. What is the real motivator? Like, now that you've achieved everything, you've got the cars, you've done the videos, you're the most successful real estate agent. I want to really deep dive into that because I think it's an interesting topic.
Look, for a lot of Afghan people out there, we've just been very unfortunate. I dropped off my dad not last night, the night before at the airport to go to Afghanistan. Now, I've been in Australia since my teenage, and I'm 36 years old now. It's so unfortunate that I can't go back to my own country. I literally can't go back to where I was born because I don't know if I'm going to be kidnapped or not. My dad said, you're not allowed to come to Afghanistan for one specific reason. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
Exactly.
Like, isn't that sad?
It's
in
weird,
today's society, how I can't even visit my own country where I was born. So I genuinely don't believe in countries and that as well, because when God created this world, he didn't say, he or she didn't say this is Afghanistan, this is Australia. You have to be a good human first before you become patriotic. It was all humans' greed. Religion and boundaries and countries separates human being. That's my personal philosophy. If you're a nice person, you have a relationship with God, you have gratitude, that means the world to anybody out there anyways. This life is a test. So be a good human first. You look at the Bible, you look at the Quran, you look at the prophets back in the days, they weren't known for their Lamborghinis or luxury homes.
Sure.
They were good human beings. So become a good human being first before you become patriotic or before you become religious out there. And religion is what separates a lot of these people anyways, because the educated ones take advantage of non-educated ones.
100%.
So what can you do to differentiate yourself in comparison to everybody else out there? Self-educate yourself. This is your life. It's your journey. Always help out everybody else out there. And may God give you that much blessing, Dean, that from the pocket of yourself, that other people can get the blessing because you're becoming a person of influence. So my philosophy in life is very, very different right now. I always advise youngsters out there that don't chase the materialistic shit. Yes, you do have a clientele. Try not to fake it. But if you do fake it, you're actually not faking it to make it. I teach them why they should do it. So I go, you're actually preparing yourself to make it. A lot of people are against it. Fake it till you make it. You can't fake it till you make it, but you're preparing yourself to make it. So if you could do that, you're actually getting inspired unconsciously because of your surroundings. What makes me happy right now is to literally help out somebody else that is going through the exact same journey as what I went through 10 years ago. Do this will make you money. Don't hang out with 21-year-olds that have no ambitions, no goals. Don't hang out with 40-year-olds that haven't achieved anything in their life. Go hang out with people that you look up to. So you can become one of them. Don't have conversations with the negative mindset. That's where you're going to stay. So this is what I'm actually planning to do, and I'll be doing more of this, which is why my book is coming out on 27th of October. You know, Simon & Schuster is publishing it, and I genuinely, truly do believe that this will be one of the best books out there if it comes down to selling, personal development, negotiation, and mindset.
Yeah.
How I achieved to become number one in 2021.
Yeah.
I've shared all the success.
Yeah.
See, there's books out there, Dean, that people have shared billion-dollar ideas. How often do people to read them? You want money? Like, money doesn't make money. It's a skill that makes you money. So then you have to become the person of skill to make money.
Yeah, 100%. This is perfect because you're leading me right into the next thing, you know? And you talk about people and yourself having a strong work ethic. It's really interesting. You talk about you wanting to build leaders around you. You say, like, you know, the word boss is a bit like a dirty word. You know what I mean? You don't want anyone to call you boss. You want to build leaders around you so that you can inspire them and then they can also inspire you. I mean, what's your honest take on the way people approach work today, and sort of how much of what you've done, like how much of it did you sort of teach yourself, or did you have a mentor or something like that?
Majority of my clients that I've dealt with over the last 10 years have been my mentors. They've been 80-year-olds, they've been 70-year-olds, they've been 90-year-olds, and I've always asked questions.
Yeah.
Because when I've asked that specific question, they've already been through that route. Why would I not want to learn something of that elderly person that's already been through where I've been? If somebody's 50 years old, that means they've got 15 years of life ahead of me. Why don't I sit down and listen to them instead of going out there trying to figure shit out myself? So
yeah,
I hope that answered your question, man, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the other question is, like, just in general, talking about people's work ethic now with technology and you know, I guess university, like, obviously you've come through a very untraditional road, you know, like, obviously I think you've mentioned that, you know, you didn't do that well at school. You sort of did like a business and marketing diploma. You made your own success. Did you have like an opinion of like people that are sort of, they want something but they don't want to put in the yards for it, you know?
Look, I always tell this to people, okay? Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune.
Yeah.
I've learned this myself by listening to podcasts, by reading books. I've learned this from people that are dead today. They've left this. At school, they don't teach you wealth. You look at every single job out there, they don't teach you entrepreneurship. They don't teach you to run your own business. If I was to rewind my life, I would never ever have a salary-driven job. The reason being is because not many people want to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know where my next deal comes from. I love that. I thrive off that.
Yeah.
I was at a networking event, and this dude walked up to me, and he was an ex-real estate agent. He walked up to me and said, "Listen, man, I love your shit. You know, the whole staff used to talk shit about you, blah, 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 but I genuinely love it, you know?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know who your company is, whatever your company is. If people talk behind you, that you're behind you for a reason, it's good that they know me, but I don't know them."
Yeah.
However, he goes, "How did you keep going?" Because I hated cold calling. I hated warm calling. I hated following up. I hated door knocking. I go, "How long were you in real estate for?" He goes, 7 years. I go, "You cost people money, number one." I said, "I will tell you the secret right now." I said, "I enjoy it because you hate it." There's a secret.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it. When you hate cold calling, I enjoy it. When something makes you uncomfortable, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I get the energy off that. When somebody else hates sales, I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I thrive on that shit. Just because you can't do it, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
So that's where I get my fuel from. Somebody tells me you can't do this, boom, you're blocked straight away.
Yeah. And that's what really interests me about you, because I've got the same mentality. Like, even making this call to you today, you know what I mean? People say, "Oh, I wouldn't do that." But I love it because what have you got to lose? Right? You didn't pick up the phone, well, I'll call you again. And if you said no, well, then guess what? I'll call
very
somebody else.
persistent. I like that.
Yeah. So I guess also I want to take it back. You're very ahead of your time, and I want to talk because you're at an interesting point with, I guess, I'm not sure of the exact year, but about 10 years ago, you were sort of ahead of your time in the respect that you were sort of doing viral content before viral content was viral content. And an example of that is, I believe it was LJ Hooker, The Wolf of Wall Street, that video. And I hadn't come across that, and I watched it last night, and I hadn't seen it in so long. It was like a flashback. Like, what was your mentality to do that at the time? Like, I'm pretty sure no one was doing that. And how did you deal? Because obviously you would have got a lot of backlash. People saying, "Mate, like, what are you doing? Like, this is unprofessional." But this is 10 years ago. This isn't today. I want you to deep dive into that.
If you want to achieve something in life, you have to go out there and let people know what you do. If you don't want people talking about you, sit in that little corner, okay, and nobody gives a fuck about you. You can bitch, moan, no one's going to care. But if you want to achieve something in life, people will always talk.
Yeah.
It's human psychology.
Yeah.
And it's easier to pinpoint and finger point at somebody else than to have the three fingers pointing at you. Because if I'm pointing one finger at you, there's three fingers pointing at me.
Yeah.
So if people do talk behind you, they're behind you in life.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for the people that was actually criticizing my content back then. Because think about it, where are they right now? I don't know where they are.
Well, they're probably doing that right now.
Well, I feel sorry for them for whatever it is that they're doing. But I never ever listen to any of those talks out there because I feel like an elephant in the jungle is an elephant. The elephant just walks straight. He does not listen to rats. He does not listen to little, fucking possums walking around.
Yeah.
So if you're so focused in your own vision and you consistently do the things that other people aren't willing to do, and there is no days off, there is no fucking Sundays, there is no Saturdays. You work 7 days a week, you put your head down and you just keep going and you be persistent, which we know whatever it is that you're aiming at, and you'll never go down. So people always try and criticize, even this podcast right now. Most likely if someone's going to say, what the fuck is this guy talking about? What are you doing, Dean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you stop at that. No. You keep going.
Yeah.
So that's it, man.
I guess, like, you were really going against the grain, though, at the time. Like, now it's sort of normal. People post weird stuff online, like interesting, like controversial stuff. But at the time, you were really going against the grain. And it could have, like, obviously you made it work. Like, what would you say to someone who's trying something different? And they're getting that backlash. Like, how did you I want to know, how did you deal with it, though? Because you could have, obviously... I'm not sure what happened at the time, but there was a potential that you'd been kicked out of that company, right? And then you left on your own. So how did you have that confidence? Because it was a confidence thing as well.
I outgrew the area. I didn't have time for small energy. I didn't have time for small talks. I didn't have time for negativity anywhere around me.
Yes.
If I wanted to fly out and if I wanted to literally, fly, somebody else would cut my wing off, but I didn't allow them to do that.
Yeah.
I said, this is my goal, this is my vision, and you're not somebody I look up to. LG Hooker was not somebody I looked up to. I outgrew LG Hooker. I was number one agent for 4 years.
Yeah.
Every single year. I wanted to create my own organization, my own brand. I said, this is not a luxury brand. I would do so many things so differently, and I would tap into innovation. And look at where we are today.
Exactly.
Back when I was doing videos, everyone laughed. Now they're copying and they can't keep up.
That's exactly, and that's my next question. Today, every agent's got a camera. Everyone's posting reels. The feed is saturated. Do you think there's the same opportunity? Obviously, you've got young agents here, right? To build a brand of content the way you did, or has the window closed?
Nah, there is always a new window every single day. Keep posting, keep being in front of people. Human psychology, you need to be in front of them at least 7 times before they see you post. Before they realize that you know what, I find this valuable. Majority of agents, here's the mistake that they do. They focus on how good they look. Social media is not about you. It's a value-added content. What would my consumers get if they were to watch me? Are they going to learn about fashion, tonality, energy? Like, I'm known for my energy. Damn, I want to watch this guy for his energy, Like, I make real estate look good. I make even developments, like, for example, at Pure Block of Land, if I'm talking about it, I make that old home look great.
Yeah.
That's what our brand is. We've made it look good. So there is still room for anybody that wants to post content down there to capture their own audience.
But man, you've done everything. You've done the music video. You've done the Lamborghini. So my question is, what's left there for agents? Like, do you have any, is there one little tip that you could give an agent potentially watching this? They're just stuck on their content. They're just posting the same post that agents.
Very simple. If I was an agent and if I was to rewind my life 10 years ago, behind every door, there's a story. Behind every home, there's a story. Behind every sales phone call, there's a story that needs to be told. For instance, I could be cold calling today, which I do still cold call. My name is Zed, I'm calling from Zed Real Estate. How are you? Shut the fuck up, hang up, boom. My name is Zed, I'm calling from Zed Real Estate. How are you? Boom, shut up, boom. Got rejected again. 50 times I got rejected. But that 51st phone call that I would make to a potential buyer or a seller, and if they say yes to it, that's when my confidence grows. So then what I tell the consumers out there is that if you're trying to create content, share that story. Today I got rejected 51 times, but here's what I learned from this video. I was chasing more no's. I got rejected so many times, and the person that actually rejected and hanged up on me, I actually told him, can you please reject me quickly so I can get to my next target?
I haven't heard of that one.
That story itself is somebody that you could put a smile on somebody else, because there's someone cold calling. There's someone. We're all salespeople, yeah.
Yeah.
Any form. The doctor's got to be a salesperson. Every person out there, we're not in that product business. We're actually in people. So that if you do master the art of communication, the art of selling, you will always be able to like fucking achieve whatever it is that you're after. I'll never be a poor man again, ever.
No.
Why? Because I've got a skill. The skill that makes me money. It's the way I make somebody feel. So when you've got that skill, you'll always make money. There is always good content out there. I could be talking to you right now. For example, Dean, I love that blue jacket on you.
Thank you.
You got a beautiful smile. Can you talk dirty to me? Boom. 35 seconds, that's content.
Yeah, you got it, man. And just continuing on, something I found interesting about how you sort of came up is you sort of went where the fishing, the fishing is best where the fields go, right? So you sort of gave like a luxury style marketing to, suburbs like Hampton Park and Dandenong. Like you said in a few of your podcasts, like no one was doing that. What made you go for obviously that style of marketing is suited for Brighton and those types of areas. Like what gave you that idea?
Innovation is good. In every single business, you need a trademark. I needed the videos to be my trademark. I saw a point of difference that I could be doing things differently, that I could create a trademark for myself. Like your trademark could be a blue jacket.
Yeah.
You'll always be known for your blue jacket. I don't know, a mullet, a pink mullet. My trademark is, for example, my soul tattoo.
Yeah.
And my videos.
Yeah.
Nowadays that I'm getting in front of camera, my trademark is I actually get my clients to be in front of the camera. So having boring videos saying welcome to this property address, blah blah, it's dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
It's dead. So you have to create a new trademark. Right now, my trademark is I get my clients to be involved, and they walk me through all these fancy properties.
Yeah,
because it's storytelling.
Yeah, it makes sense. I guess another thing, there's a lot of, like, even just for general business owners, they may have just left a job, or they may have been managing a team within a large organization. You went from being the top agent at LJ Hooker to then obviously growing your own company. That requires a different skill set. Yeah. What was the hardest part from being the talent to running the company and recruiting talent?
When I left LJ Hooker, the ex-director owed me money. The problem is, here's the problem, okay? Most business owners, they're reliant on staff to make them money.
Oh.
They're reliant on staff to get them to their dreams and their destination. It's the most stupidest thing you could do yourself. Because I didn't look up to my director the way he was a leader. Stingy leaders. That's all I had. Use people to get them to the level that they want. What a bullshit philosophy that is. All those people that I actually worked for, they're all going down because of the way that they treated people, because of how money hungry they were, but they weren't skill driven. Whereas I looked at that, I improvised, and I'm like, yesterday I did a full workshop with my staff from 10 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. They did not move unless they became more. So that's where our biggest point of difference is. I did have doubts. There's a very old saying that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to become great. I started with my amazing brother Marcy, which is the CEO of Zed Real Estate. He's formally educated. The dude's like one of the smartest people I've come across.
Yep.
Then I got another scientist brother. Then I got another aggressive negotiator of a brother of mine that is amazing when it comes to negotiation. So we put all four brains together, and the pillars are so bloody strong that even a tank cannot wreck it.
Yeah.
So we all have each other's back, and that's what our culture is, I guess,
Right.
They say not to work with family and don't mix it, business and family together. Right. Real estate is family. Life is family. What is the point of earning money if you can't share it in family?
Exactly.
Because if your brother gets ahead of you, if your sister gets ahead of you, your DNA gets ahead. What do you need as a human being? A nice walk in the sun, maybe a good guitar, and a nice meal out, and that's all you need.
Yeah, 100%. I guess, what about, you talk about family, right? Like, obviously that sort of unbreakable bond that you and your brothers have. What about talent, though, in terms of they're not blood, right? So staff. How do you attract really good staff, and how do you retain really good staff? Because you talk about building leaders around you. So I want you to deep dive into that, because a lot of, even just a lot of companies, they hire people worried that the staff's they're going to take my business, they're going to ruin my business. So what's your mindset for that?
I do a lot of public speaking, and a lot of business owners, they're reliant on their staff. they're very reliant on their staff, and they're very jealous sometimes as well. I go, far out, you're an overthinker. You've done very well in a good market, but you haven't influenced people. Like if these people, they leave tomorrow, your business is going to go to zero. So they actually don't want to share these secrets with their staff, to just keep them at 9 to 5 and that's it. Whereas I encourage my staff, I go, you should have your own business. You should have your own business.
Yeah.
Every one of you guys should have your own businesses. And then what I do with my staff is I never tell them what to do. I lead by example. Like for example, I told my staff, I go, buddy, well done. You're doing an amazing job. I go, I finished work at 11 p.m. last night. What time did you go to bed? I said, if you want to beat my numbers, you have to be the hardest working person out there in the room.
Yeah.
I generally don't believe that there is anybody that works harder than me.
Yeah.
In this whole entire universe, bro. I can vouch for that. Because I've been doing 7 days a week. Last 4 weeks I was in Gold Coast. In 4 weeks I had 3 hours off. A lot of people, they say, oh, you might burn out. Mate, I don't look up to people that fucking believe in that shit.
Yeah.
You got to keep going. If you got a goal, you got a vision, you got to keep going towards it.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I'm really referring to, because I resonate with what you're saying. You say back in Afghanistan, you talk about anxiety, you talk about burnout, that the concept doesn't make sense. So I also resonate with that. I think to a degree, when you talk about like people that genuinely have like anxiety that's been medically diagnosed, different story, but everyone can use that as an excuse, you know. Just to change up the topic a little bit, like everyone's now using AI, you know, AI ads, ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Grok, all these AI things. Do you think, how's it affecting, like maybe I can just leave this first question open. How's it affecting real estate?
I actually did the workshop on this yesterday. I love using ChatGPT. I love using Claude. It's gotten rid of my admin work. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Something that was going to, a proposal of a property that I was pitching for would take me 48 hours to do. Then I have to hire a graphic designer. I have to hire 50 other people to try and make sure the thing gets done. Now I can do the same shit in 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's created efficiency.
Yeah.
It's given me so much more time to be able to focus on dollar productivity.
Sure.
So Claude's my best friend. I literally did a course on Claude AI technology for a good 7 days. I locked myself up in the room until I learned how to do everything. So it's changed my life. Can they negotiate? Can they take over our salesman's job? Never. But it's created more efficiency. If anything, a lot of people in the admin department, they should be worried. So you have to become more.
Sure, exactly. And what about clients though, your potential clients? Do they think they're a bit smarter now that they've got the data, they've got the, like how has it, obviously you're talking about positive impacts. Can you run me through any negatives that you've been seeing? Yesterday
I pitched a client, he goes, that's a good thing you use ChatGPT to do. I said, of course I use ChatGPT. I said, I'm not going to sit down. I said, that ChatGPT only operates on the basis of what I tell him to do. Yeah. It's created efficiency. If you can't keep up with it, I'm not the right agent for you. Go get yourself another order taker because I run the show here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I use innovation and I use ChatGPT, I use Claude to my full advantage. If the technology is there, then why not adapt to it? This is where our world is heading towards. So if you can't keep up with it, you're going to fall behind.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I went into a seminar and they used to make fun of Google, that Google's going to take over and realestate.com is going to take over 14 years ago. And back then when we used to sell real estate, newspaper hard copies would promote all the open for inspections on newspapers. On Mondays, all our opens had to go in there. And majority of the staff laughed at this lecturer, said, mate, I don't think realestate.com is going to take over. We're still going to have hard copy.
Yeah.
Look at where hard copy, when was the last time I read a newspaper to look for a property? Well, I can't remember. Everything's digitalized now.
Yeah.
Realestate.com's taken over. Social media's taken over. Digital platforms have taken over. Who watches TV nowadays? They just watch, you streamline TV because they get to select what type of energy they want to watch. So when it comes to Claude and the world of digitalization, learn how to keep up with it.
Yeah, I mean, people are going from newspapers to buying off Snapchat to...
well, Snapchat's mainly just used for sending out like ass photos and dick photos. Not that I've done it, but
yeah. Nice. And obviously, you're really big into selling. I haven't come across this question being asked for you. Maybe it's out there. What's the hardest sale that you've ever made? Like, have you ever had a deal that you've lost that you look back in it, that's at the back of your mind? Like, there's going to be many, but I'm sure there's one.
A deal that I've lost? See, the thing is, then, I have learned more in losing deals than I have when I've won. Because I wish for my competition to lose more deals so they can lift up their game. I have learned to win more because I've lost so much. But I've always gone out back to the client asking for feedback. The hardest thing that you can do as a human being is say, sorry, it was my mistake, but thank you. and having gratitude. So I would call out my client. I wish you all the best. You have made the right decision, but if it doesn't go towards your way, give me a call back in about 60 to 90 days. I can help you. But what would I have done differently that would have gotten you to sign, or blah, blah, blah? Then they would give me feedback. So it's important to be a student of life, not a leader of life. So I'm always a student. I'm learning one or two things out of every single deal. So you win more from losing a deal than when you do from winning a deal.
100%.
I've lost many deals out there, but right now, what you lack in skill, you make it up with numbers. So if I was to walk into 10 different meetings, I'd close 8 out of 10, because those 2 are the people that actually don't want to work with anyways.
Yeah.
So what you lack in skill, you make it up with numbers. To all the people out there that's watching this, they're in sales. If I speak to 10 people, the only way you can beat me is if you were to speak to 100 people, because I've got a skill that can make me money. Out of 10, I'll close 8. Yeah. So if you want to catch up to my numbers, you have to speak to 100, so then you can close 20.
Got it. But was there anything in particular, like in early days, even now, was there a big lesson that has ever stuck in the back of your mind?
Yeah, man, every single sale's a lesson.
Yeah.
I'm only as good as my last sale.
Yeah.
Every day's a lesson.
Yeah.
So yeah, I win and lose deals all the time.
Yeah. Can you talk me through, I think you've got a structure of 5 Ps for planning?
6 Ps, yeah.
6 Ps.
Plan your week in advance, plan your week in advance, plan your day in advance. Once you've planned it, prepare yourself for it. Make sure that you've prepared that specific goal that you want to achieve. Practice that shit. Before you go out, meet a client, practice your pitch, do a role play. Make sure that you've got all the documents that you need, so you don't go into a presentation with a client of yours not being prepared and you haven't practiced it with your colleagues. Once you've practiced it, then you perform, okay? We're all born performers. I'm a performer. I'm performing right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if your audience is going to like this content or not. Yeah. You don't know if you're going to do well today or not. So we're all born performers. So you can choose to be a good performer or a bad performer.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to make a sales phone call. That's called performance.
Yeah.
An artist comes on stage. That's called performance. If he performs bad, guess what's going to happen? He's not going to get repeat business. So you only get one impression to make a good impression. And your first impression will always be your last impression. So you never get a second chance to make a good first impression. Mm-hmm. So when you are performing, make sure you give it your best.
Yeah.
After you've performed, my friend, if you've performed good, you're going to produce the dollars.
Got it.
But if you've performed bad, there is no dollars. Then this is when the last P comes in. If you've performed good and you've produced the dollars, party comes.
Yeah.
Because you got to celebrate your win.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And do you find with a lot of agents, so obviously the agents here would have adopted that methodology, but across the board, what do you find with, you've obviously come up with that for yourself, but surely to teach, you must have found something with agents that they don't prepare, that maybe they don't perform. Is there a commonality that you'd sort of look amongst agents? Is there one of the P's that you would say should really focus on this?
Yeah, 100%. The 2 of the P's for agents is preparing themselves. Don't walk into a client without being prepared. Let's just say if a product's on the market at $10 million, you need to know 10 houses that's been sold on the same street or within the same 5-kilometer radius, and 10 houses that's currently on the market, or at least 5. That's called you being prepared. Once you've prepared yourself, practice it. Practice it with your colleague instead of practicing in front of the client. Yeah. For instance, if I'm a doctor and you come to me, I'm a newbie doctor, for example, and you say you have some issues with your kidney, would you like me to practice on you? Do you want me to practice on you? Salespeople like to practice on clients.
Yeah.
Don't practice.
Yeah.
Because you're going to kill the deal.
Yeah.
You're going to kill the client.
Yeah.
I'll kill Dean if I touch his kidneys right now.
Yeah.
Because I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
So why am I practicing on the client? So planning and preparation and practicing is the biggest takeaways that I can actually tell any salesman out there.
Yeah. Don't practice on, I think that's a big one. Don't practice on the client. Because a lot of them are going out, they're not doing that prep work, and they're going out and that's their practice run. When exactly. Your guys are probably going out there and that's, they're going in, they got that. That's pretty awesome. Everyone knows you're a big risk taker. Again, a really hard question for you to answer. But what do you think is the biggest risk that you've taken that's given the biggest payoff?
This office, I invested all my money into this office. This office has to be probably one of the biggest and the nicest offices of the real estate. This is a marble bench top.
Yeah.
I spent all my money that I made, majority of it, in lockdown. We bought this office when 99.9% of people told us not to. We renovated this office when majority of people said, you're going to be stupid to tap into Brighton, because Brighton people, they like to communicate with the right people out there, and it's all about the news that the two Scotch collars, their hair every mum and dads, and it's a very tough market to get into, blah, 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 blah. Don't open up an office in here, stick to what you know best. Your dad not have the purpose. I know you. I took the risk. April, I think COVID started 2021, something like that, which we've all forgotten. Then now it's lockdown, after lockdown, after lockdown, after lockdown. This office delayed for over a year because of lockdown. And then I had somebody coming into my office saying, shut down the office. Oh, don't do this, don't do that. Don't buy yourself a new Lamborghini, don't do that. And I looked at myself and I go, hold on. I'm looking at you. All you've done is you just played it safe all your life.
Yeah.
You have just been lucky at the right time.
Yeah.
Luck has played a big role for you. But you're not somebody that I look up to.
Yeah.
Because you're scared to live life. You're scared to take risks in business. I didn't listen to anybody. I listened to myself. This is where we are today. We built it. We did more sales than ever.
Because of the office.
Because of the office, because I put all my eggs in one basket, which 99.9% of the people said, don't open up. It's the worst time to open up an office. It's the worst time to open up your own brand. How can you open up a fresh brand in a luxury space? It's going to backfire on you. You don't know the people here. It's so hard to tap into. People look different here. Apparently they got 4 legs if they got more wealth.
Yeah.
It's been the easiest fucking transition of my life. All human beings want, doesn't matter who they are, if you're worth $6, 6 million or 6 billion, all human beings want to be communicated. Provide the same service. Don't treat somebody else just because they got more money, give them a different service. No, I still provide the same service to a $600,000 house to a $60 million house. What's the difference?
Yeah.
The person's profile just changes.
Exactly. Only a couple more questions, man, and then we're going to wrap it up. I asked a couple people that like your answer on this. It's a topic that I'm sort of interested in, not like fully across it, but people want to know about the budget. So biggest thing to hit the market in years. So from 2027, negative gearing on established homes is gone for anyone who buys after May, but anyone who already owns it is grandfathered. Are you seeing that sort of change listings in your area? And as an investor and developer yourself, has it changed anything for you?
You can't change the climate. You can't change politicians. You can't change the economy, but you can change your strategies to dictate the market.
Yeah.
What developers are doing, they're very happy because there is a big demand for housing land packages that are new.
Yeah.
There will be a big demand for new off-the-plan apartments.
Yes.
So they'll benefit. So then majority of people, instead of buying established properties that they can't claim on negative gearing, they're going to step away from that. What I'm advising my clients right now is I go, hold on. When you know that you're not a smart investor and you've made it through luck and saying that you bought at the right time, and I speak to majority of people out there like, you know what? I bought it at the right time. I got lucky with it. Hold on. This is what I'm telling to all the typical mom and dad investors out there. If you live in a place of principle that you only have 500 square meters, I highly suggest you go out there, buy yourself a property with 5 acres.
Yeah.
That is your place of principle, that you don't have to pay tax when you do sell. And that is an investment as well. They'll appreciate in value. So if you're buying little investments here and there that you can't claim on negative gearing, stay away from it. I always tell investors, I go, if you're investing $1 million in an investment, you need to know when your $1 million will turn into 1.1 million to 1.2 million.
Yeah.
So if you're going to invest money in real estate, you have to have an exit. Otherwise, you're literally reliant on the economy, the politicians, the government to make you money. No. If an investment hasn't made you money, don't be emotional. Use logic, use numbers, move forward. So the 2027 budget, it's not going to impact the big developers. So you have to change your strategies. Go get some more advice on how you can dictate your income. It's not going to make a difference. Human beings are adaptable to every environment out there.
Yeah. All right, this is the last one. This is the $1 million question for every agent watching this one. If you to start all over again today, obviously you don't have to. But in this economy and this digital landscape with no following, no listings, would you do anything differently?
Wouldn't do anything different. I would do the exact same thing. The only thing I would do is I'll go sit down with an experienced agent, I'll listen and I'll shadow him and I'll become a student and I'll try not to figure it out myself. The minute you try and figure it out yourself, that's when you can backfire. You got to remember, if you want to be in sales today, you have to have 55 different type of degrees if you want to survive in today's market. Here's what I mean. There's an art when it comes to cold calling. There's an art when it comes to following up. There's an art when it comes to following through. There's an art when it comes to warm calls. There's an art when it comes to providing the best service once the consumer has become your client. There's an art on how you can master referrals. There's an art when it comes to negotiation. There's an art when it comes to marketing. There's an art when it comes to objection handling from sellers. There's an art when it comes down to objection handling from your buyers. There's an art when it comes to personal development. There's an art when it comes to attitude. There's an art when it comes to knowledge. There's an art when it comes down to knowing your product. There's an art when it comes down to learning how to do a proper comparative market analysis, which is your CMA. So you have to look at what other properties are selling for. You have to look at what other properties are on the market. You have to look at what your competition is, though, so you can stand out. If you want to survive in today's market, you have to self-educate yourself in every single thing that I've actually told you right now. So not knowing where your next deal comes from is simply because you're not prospecting. The person that learns how to cold call, the person that learns how to meet new people on daily basis and they speak to 40 different people a day, they're the ones that will create opportunities. I'm doing the exact same thing on the Gold Coast. A lot of people think that Zed doesn't cold call. My biggest advantage is that I am the best negotiator in this world that has ever seen, according to myself, obviously. Terms and conditions apply. I still cold call. My name's Dean. I'm calling from Zed Real Estate. How are you? The reason for this phone call is because of this, because of that, because of that. Keep it short. Boom. No worries. You're not interested. My name's Asan and I'm calling from Zed Real Estate. How are you? I'm doing unbelievable. Thank you very much for asking. The reason for this phone call is blah, 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 blah. Boom. Straight to the point. No worries. Next. Every minute counts. Every single second counts. Speak to 40 different people a day. Doesn't matter which industry you're in. Watch how many opportunities you'll create. So I wouldn't do anything differently. If anything, I'd times it by 50x.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate your time today. Everyone obviously, would really appreciate the advice that you've given. There's actually a lot that I've learned today. Where can sort of people follow you for? You've got a couple of YouTube channels. You've got a lot of social media stuff happening now. Where's the best place that they can find you?
They can find me on Hinge. They can find me on... I'm kidding, man. Zed Real Estate. Zed Real Estate. Zed app. ZedRealEstate.com.au, man.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.